Welcome to the City of Pinellas Parks City Council meeting. Our city offers superior parks, premium recreational services, exceptional public safety resources, optimal investment opportunities, and more. Our mayor and city council welcomes you to tonight's meeting.
Good evening. Calling to order our city council meeting. We will have an invocation and pledge of allegiance. This evening, our invocation is being delivered by Father John Poole of St. Anglican's Church, and that is located at 7685 66th Street. Please rise if you wish.
Let us pray. Be merciful, Lord, and hear our prayers for all civil authority, our mayor, city council members, our police department and fire department, and grant them peaceful times that we, in their tranquility, may lead a common peaceful life here in Pinellas Park with the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Poole. We have a few special presentations this evening. The first is going to be Officer Skinner and crew to come up and talk about the law enforcement torch run. Yes, ma'am.
Can we real quick take a moment of silence for the victims of the bridge that collapsed?
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
If you wish, whenever you
Yes.
wish.
If those in the audience as well as those at home would like to take a moment of silence to remember the victims of the bridge that collapsed outside of the Baltimore area. Please. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to give a special shout out to the police department that was out there just doing their normal, reminding people to slow down because of the fact there was construction going on. And they said that they saved a handful of lives just by listening to their radio and hollering out to the crews that were there that day. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'm Officer Sean Skinner with the Community Policing Unit. I'm here just to briefly speak about this year's Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Florida. On April 17th, we will be teaming up with law enforcement agencies from across the county to do a nice brisk 4-mile run. This is a fundraiser for Special Olympics Florida, which is a great organization that provides athletic training and tournaments and even some health care for children and adults with intellectual disabilities. So today I am here selling some Torch Run merchandise. We have a wide variety of t-shirts, hats, challenge coins, and whatnot. If you're interested, please come see me after the council meeting and I'll get you taken care of.
Thank you. Next is our fire crew for the Chili Blaze. You guys are going to come up for moral support?
He's got the t-shirt on. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Council. Chris Huffman, IAFF Local 2193 Union President, MDA Coordinator. First and foremost, I got to thank y'all for certainly being there for us, supporting us. I have to say thank you to the fire chief and the police chief as well for the use of the cadets throughout the entire weekend. Really setting us up for a very successful weekend, both from Country in the Park and Chili Blaze. So with all of our vendor fees counted and everything, I'm proud to announce that I set a goal of $20,000, which was actually on Tampa Bay 10. We actually raised over $22,000 on Friday night for Muscular Dystrophy. So we'll be taking care of that. Certainly can't do that without your support. So thank you all very much. Support staff, everybody as well. It's incredible. So thank you very much.
Reed Sr.
Oh, yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd just like to take this opportunity to let everybody know we're missing one of our members here tonight. And I'd like everybody to think about Miss Lana. She's at home, and I want everybody to give a big wave to her. This is kind of a historic night, passing the torch, and I know she's home watching. I just want to know we love her, and she's in our thoughts and prayers. And if everybody could, wave to Lana. Hey, Lana. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, quasi judicial. Yes. So, moving on. First of all, is there any citizens that would like to come up and speak on anything that is not on the agenda this evening? We won't embarrass him by singing because none of us can sing a tune, but we need to wish Tracy Schofield, one of our retired police officers, and Police and Kids Foundation, happy birthday tonight. So happy birthday, sir. If there are no citizens that would like to come up and speak, we will move on to have anybody that might speak on the quasi judicial items to please stand and be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to section 2, approval of minutes. Councilmember Butler, one more time, sir.
Yeah, this is it. Mayor, I'd like to make an approval of regular council minutes of March 14th, 2024, as in file in the city clerk's office. Second.
Motion has been made in second. All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to section 3, public hearings, item P1, ordinance number 4245.
Item P1, ordinance number 4245, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a master plan and supporting documentation for a mixed-use plan unit development, MUPUD, overlay with underlying general commercial B1 zoning on 5.98 acres of land generally located at 7725 78th Street North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item number P1, ordinance number 4245's public hearing, second and final reading. It is quasi judicial. I'm opening the public hearing and turning it over to Megan.
Good evening. My name is Megan Montesino, Development Review Manager, and I'll be presenting P1, which is case PUD-1224-00001. The request is for a mixed-use planned unit development overlay to redevelop the site with mixed uses, residential and commercial, to include 4,000 square feet of commercial space, a 4-story, 32-unit multifamily building, an existing 20,400 square foot wedding venue / catering establishment, and an existing cell tower. Just some background on the property is in April of 2022, City Council approved a rezoning from heavy commercial CH to general commercial B1 with a mixed use planned unit development overlay. The PUD has since expired since no development has started within 6 months of approval. Applicant proposed to develop at that time a 4,000 square feet of commercial space, a 3-story, 54-unit multifamily building, and an existing 20,400 square foot wedding venue / catering establishment and a cell tower. P&Z Commission requested at that time that no balconies are to be installed on the east side of the multifamily building, and stop signs and speed humps are to be installed with the approval of Public Works, and City Council also approved it with those conditions. Shown here outlined in yellow is an aerial map of the subject property located at 7725 78th Street North. The land use is commercial general CG. The zoning is general commercial B1 with the mixed-use planned unit development overlay. The subject property is located in flood zone X shaded, which is a moderate risk flood zone, and flood zone AE10, which is a high risk flood zone. A small portion of the site north of the existing structure is located within the coastal high hazard area, but it will not be near the proposed development. Shown here is the proposed site plan. Outlined in red is the proposed 4,000 square foot commercial space, which will be office and personal services. Highlighted in purple is the proposed 4-story, 32-unit multifamily building. Outlined in blue is the proposed pool area and amenity. Highlighted in yellow is the proposed stormwater vault area. And highlighted in green is the existing drainage retention area, which will be expanded. Shown here are proposed elevations. The top elevation is the east elevation, which has walkways to entrances of units facing 60-foot undeveloped right-of-way and residential. The bottom is the west elevation, which has balconies facing proposed parking lot. Shown here is the north elevation on top with balconies facing proposed parking lot. And the elevation on the bottom is the south elevation, which shows walkways to entrance of units facing commercial properties. The summary is that the property is currently zoned general commercial B1 with an MU PUD overlay. That PUD has since expired. The applicant's requesting a new MU PUD to accommodate residential and commercial uses. The development on site would include the following: the existing 20,400 square foot wedding venue and catering establishment, the existing cell tower, proposed 32 multifamily residential units, and proposed 4,000 square foot commercial space. Per code for the commercial and residential use, 148 parking spaces are required, and the applicant is proposing 200 spaces. Per code, lot coverage for B1 zoning is 75%, and the applicant is proposing 59.38%. And per code, the applicant is allowed 15 units per acre, which is a maximum of 44 units, and 0.45 FAR, which is approximately 58,609 square feet of non-residential split between the almost 6-acre property. The applicant is proposing significantly less, which is 32 units and 24,400 square feet of non-residential. The findings are that the proposed mixed-use PUD is consistent with the intent of the code. The development of the commercial space, a 32-unit multifamily building with the existing wedding venue / catering establishment and cell tower would meet the intent and requirements of the code, and the request is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the adopted comprehensive plan. Staff recommends approval of this case, and on March 7th, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this case with the condition that no balconies are to be installed on the east side of the multifamily building, only open walkways. The applicant is here, as well as staff, if you have any questions.
City Council have any questions of Megan?
Yeah, why are they taking away the balconies?
Why are they taking away balconies?
Yeah,
So the balconies will be just on the opposite side. They'll be facing the parking lot on the north and south elevations. The other side will just be walkways. They won't be balconies where people can set up, outdoor patio equipment or anything like that. So there'll still be balconies. They'll just be facing away from the residential to the east.
is that what you guys wanted?
Yes,
That
that's what
was,
Jerry brought forward.
That's what they had requested when they previously had come.
It just caught my.
Yeah, when we had the residents here, Jerry Mullins made that as one of the items. And my question is, was there a walkway back then on the east side?
So originally the balconies were planned on the east side and the walkways were on the front side, the north and south, where the balconies are now proposed.
So we did approve it last time with the walkways on the east side,
Before it was just going to be
open walls, flat walls.
It was just going to be flat walls with no balconies, just windows.
And no walkway.
No walkway on the east side, no.
Right, and that's what I'd like to go back to. No walkways on the east side. Yes.
And I know the applicant can come up and talk, but
Sure.
at P&Z, he did mention that, they would be willing to close that off.
Yes, because I know that when this previously came in front of us, we had residents here.
Mhm.
And that's what caught my eye was last time there wasn't a walkway along the east side.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Megan? Would the applicant like to come up and speak on this item? Name and address and whether you were sworn in or not.
Good evening, Matt Severain, Gulf Coast Consulting, 13825 Icot Boulevard, Clearwater, Florida, 33760, and I have been sworn in. First of all, thank you, Megan, for your presentation. Very thorough, I appreciate it. And just to address it right away, Councilman Sabio, we would be willing to close that off. That's why I made sure we had elevations. And I wanted to make sure you guys were comfortable with what we're proposing to the south and to the east. There are walkways. They're not going to be balconies. Like Megan said, the balconies will be facing to the orientation is messed up. I don't want to get this wrong. Yeah, the balconies will be facing to the west and to the north, towards the parking lot. There's just walkways for people to get into their units. But we could propose a wall there, flat wall, so that it's completely enclosed. So there will be no walkways on the east side. Yep, or the south. That's completely possible. We can do that. Thank you. Sure. And be willing to answer any other questions you guys may have.
Does anybody have any questions of the applicant?
I want to mention that the density's been slashed from 9 units per acre down to 5.4. And the FAR remains the same from 0.29, and the max allows 0.45. So it's going to be significantly less density. The applicant is hoping to bring forward a luxury product. Most of these units, I've been told, the architects that are working on it, will be 3 bedrooms with higher ceilings, which is why they want to get an extra story, but less units. Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to come up and ask any questions of the applicant or city council or staff regarding this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion. By Councilmember Seville.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd like to approve ordinance number 4245, public hearing, second and final reading, with the note that there are no walkways or patios on the east elevation of the building.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Would that be not that there's no walkways, that there's no exposed walkways? Maybe would be a better wording for that. So the walkways can be there. It just has to have a solid wall so that you can't see it.
Amended to that there would be a solid wall on the walkway, so you cannot look out to the east. 6 foot high.
Motion has been made and second with the amendments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item P2, consideration of variance.
Item P2 is consideration of a variance to section 18-1532.9, parentheses B, of the Land Development Code to reduce the required off-street parking from 139 spaces to 18 spaces for a property generally located at 5805 Park Boulevard.
Thank you. Item P2, public hearing, first and final reading. This is also quasi-judicial, and I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Megan.
Good evening again. My name is Megan Montesino, Development Review Manager, and I'll be presenting P2, which is case VAR-0224-00008. The request is a variance to reduce the required off-street parking from 139 spaces to 18 spaces. Shown here is the aerial map of the subject site, located at 5805 Parks Boulevard. Shown here is the land use, which is Community Redevelopment District, CRD. The zoning is Town Center, TC. Shown here is the proposed site plan, specifically pointing out the parking. There are 18 proposed off-street parking spaces, 23 on-street parking spaces, and 7 on-street motorcycle scooter parking spaces, as well as just to the west of that is a ride share pickup and drop off. Shown here are some renderings, specifically viewing the parking areas. The summary is that the applicant is requesting a variance to section 18-1532.9B of the Land Development Code to reduce the required off-street parking from 139 spaces to 18 spaces. The applicant is proposing 18 off-street parking spaces along with 32 on-street parking spaces plus 7 motorcycle/scooter parking spaces. A PUD will be proposed in the near future to include the subject property at 5805 Park Boulevard, the existing Park Station parking lot at 5851 Park Boulevard, and 6001 Park Boulevard, which is currently Brilliant Little Minds Early Childhood Center. Future parking options would include Mastery's, the subject site, which is 41 spaces total, proposed parking garage, which is approximately 113 public spaces. Park Station will be adding 23 spaces, and new on-street parking to be added on 60th Street and 76th Avenue North. Shown here is the future PUD, as mentioned before. Highlighted over to the east is Phase 1, which is the subject site. Phase 2, which will include the parking garage, and Phase 3, which is currently Brilliant Little Minds Child Care Center. Shown here are the future parking options previously mentioned, with Mastery's with 41 spaces, Park Station adding 23 spaces, the proposed parking garage, which will have approximately 113 public spaces, and then adding public parking on street on 76th Avenue North and 60th Street North. Shown here is existing parking spaces currently in the area. Down to the south, you have the public parking lot. Just to the west of the Mastery site, you have the St. Giles elevated parking lot, the parking next to the auditorium, the former community compliance parking lot, former public works parking lot, and then community development parking lot. Staff recommends approval of this case, and I'm here as well as the applicant if you have any questions.
City Council have any questions, Megan? None. Would the applicant like to come up and speak? Name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
Matthew Dom, 7701, 701. Man, why can't I even think where I'm at? Sorry, it's been one of those days. 7701 Blind Pass Road, St. Pete Beach, and I have been sworn in. To note at the end there, I'm still a newer dad of 2 under the age of 4, 1 just turning actually 11 months today. So mom and dad are still very much on very little sleep, doing 2 to 3 wake-ups in the middle of the night still with 8 ounces at a time of milk, not beer. So to start off with, again, thank you for the presentation. We have been through this conversation multiple times, and of course, some of the public who are not aware, of course, the first looking at the presentation, starting off with the very low numbers, but again, those are just the parking spots located directly on Railroad Way. We do have the additional off-site parking plus the PUD, which is going to actually help us exceed past the necessary parking requirements of the property. And again, because we have to do this in phases, I like to consider this variance more of a bridge variance, much like a bridge financial loan, to help us get things rolling with greater things planned in the works to come, including, again, the suggestions that we've had of working with the CRX to see what potential opportunities there are there to utilize a lot of the green space, because I, too, have actually even seen public comment ask, why aren't they doing that? And again, we all understand that we can't dictate, govern, or make too big of push on the CRX, but ask very favorably what they would be allow us, if anything, to participate with. So there's always room for growth, redefining, continuing to work with the city, public works, planning and zoning to see how we can definitely help support additional parking conversations to better the entire community. With that being said, I open it back up to you with any questions, comments, or anything you'd like to know.
Any questions to City Council? No? No? Okay. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. The rest of the application group, is there anything additional that needs to be added, gentlemen? No. Okay. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to ask any questions or of City Council or applicants or staff?
Gary Migdal, 9975 66 Way North, and yes, I've been sworn in.
Thank you.
My question is, we're talking about a large amount of variances for parking spaces. Once this place is built, how long after that will be the parking garage? Is that a different phase? Is that what we're talking about, a year or 2 years, 3 years down the road? Where are the people going to park? You're talking about having a parking garage with 113 spaces, but if that's not going to be there, where are the 113 people who are going to this place to park? So you already have the redevelopment going on, and that place is pretty packed on the weekends in the back. So where are the people going to park if you take away all these parking spaces?
You can run a shuttle back and forth?
Hmm?
What's your address? You can run a shuttle back and forth? No, just teasing. It's just like, over there at Davis Commons, Davis Field. When there's football, there's cars parked all over.
That's correct.
And
you're talking like Friday and Saturday night being a thing, and the football field is going on and all this stuff. Where are the people going to park?
Yeah, well, I think at night and late afternoon, you'll probably see them using Davis Commons like you see football using during the day, no football games at night. And that, they can park at those other places that we have available to them. And, this is like growing pains, I guess. And, it's like he was saying, this is just a bridge to the next step, and we hope everything moves right along.
Well, I'm not going to park at Davis Field and walk all the way down there to have a beer or have dinner, and then turn around and have to walk all the way back over to Davis Field to park.
Somebody might.
Yeah.
It's all according to how.
The project is great. I understand that, but you're creating a massive parking problem.
You're right, and it's just
You're going to have people parking in residential areas
on street,
and those people are going to be complaining.
Yeah, but we're just going to have to try to work the best we can. We got law enforcement, that they're not blocking. We hope people are courteous, and it's just. I know
the purpose of this city council is to work around and say, okay, we're going to do this, but we have police department who can handle the problem. Why don't we solve the problem before we have a problem?
Well, we're actually trying to solve the problem right now with the other parking places available. If people don't want to walk, well, then they're not going to go to his.
Well, why are we deleting 100 parking spaces? Add more parking spaces to you got there now.
Where are we going to put them?
Well, you have 100. He wants 139, and he wants to drop it down to 18. That's over 100 parking places gone. You don't take away 100 parking spaces, and you don't have a problem.
All I can tell you.
Okay, we already have a problem with the redevelopment thing with parking and people there now. Now you're going to add to it.
We are definitely going to add to it. And I know where you're coming from.
But we're not going to be proactive.
It's just a matter of people want to go park at Public Works and come to his establishment. That relieves it. We got the auditorium to park at. We got the senior center to park at. So there's other places for people to park. Clock tower right across the street. Until we get these other.
We're not solving the problem. We're just moving them around.
Well, that's.
The business wants to go, and I understand, and the business is probably going to be very good.
Well, we're
okay,
hoping so.
But most people are not going to want to walk 2 miles to go to a place when they can go right down the road and park right in front of the business and have dinner.
And that's going to hurt his business, not ours. And I'm sure he's aware of that, and I'm sure everything. He's hoping to get all these other.
I think taking away 100 parking spaces is the wrong decision to make for this council.
Well, if we take back 100 parking spaces, there's no place to put the brewery and the restaurant.
Then
Then we're missing out. That's just my opinion. There's 4 other people up here. That's my opinion.
you're gonna have people parking across, you're gonna have people crossing Park Boulevard at night. It's crazy.
Gary, one thing that I did suggest to the Masteries group is to have a golf cart to do shuttling for some of the further away parking spaces. And it says 18 parking spaces because of the fact that that's what's going to be physically on his property. The city is allowing him to have some parking in that's called on-street. He has his is 18, which is off-street parking. We're allowing him to have on-street parking right up against that area that is that the city owns, the right-of-way area. So he's going to have a total of 41 parking spaces to start off with. And when he was at the CRA the other night, I encouraged him to, hire, a younger person to have one of the bigger golf carts to shuttle people from some of the other city parking spaces.
The other issue
and
is,
to make sure to advertise
the other issue is when you decide down the road a couple of years from now to build a parking garage, you're going to have construction there. And a lot of that parking that's going to be, people will be using normally is going to be gone while the construction's on their way.
Is there anybody else in the audience that has any questions for or against this item? Would the applicant like to come up and speak? Sure. Thank you.
Do I need a repeat name, address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you again for your concerns. And the one thing that I can state that I feel very confident since almost 5-6 years ago now that we first began working with the city of Pinellas Park, the staff knows the amount of attention that we've gone in the complete process of not just looking at evaluating our site, but assisting and working with the city of Pinellas Park to identify hurdles that would come from the master city center plan and vision that the city of Pinellas Park has had for their properties. Early on, it was Masters Brewing Co. who said, we are going to need a parking garage. Parking will be an issue. What I can tell you is that with the Site 2, there is currently 70-something parking, 98 parking spots, 78 current parking spots there. So until that project starts off, and again, we still have that 78 at Park Station that will have the additional 32 spots in front of Park Station that are being developed as well. So there is more parking coming. We are also working with Public Works and Planning and Zoning on the back side, the north side of the property, to address because the misalignment of the angled parking in front of the on 78th and how we could better align that, widen that road, give a little bit on the Masteries property, give a little bit on the city's property. So there are conversations directly that will align with our project. Again, kind of going with we need to get started building. Otherwise, some of these other things and discussions that we're trying to accomplish just simply can't happen. It's a little bit of the cart before the horse, or the horse before the cart, chicken and egg scenario, trying to best align what's going to work well for the community, as well as be able to get construction off the ground and going so we can address some of these other items as they're coming. So as we stated in our very first presentation, our focus has always been a win-win-win-win scenario. A win for the community, a win for this fantastic commission up here to be able to be happy and proud that they were able to work with us to bring this to their great city, leading off with the city center project, as well as a win for all the residents and visitors coming to this area. And then back to the very end of it, which I believe is almost the least important, is the business itself. Because if the city is happy, if the residents are happy, I'm pretty sure that the business is going to be happy.
City Council have any questions? Thank you. With that, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion. Vice Mayor Reed.
Make a motion that we approve VAR-024-00008, public hearing first and final reading.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item P3, preliminary site plan.
Item P3 is preliminary site plan approval for an open canopy structure addition to the existing building generally located at 4460 107th Circle North.
Thank you. Item P3, preliminary site plan approval. This is a public hearing, first and final reading. This is also quasi judicial. I'm opening the public hearing and turning it over to Bob.
Thank you. My name is Bob Bernhardt, Senior Planner. I'll be presenting case PSP-0124-00004. As mentioned, this is a preliminary site plan approval request for a 1,500 square foot open canopy structure addition to an existing building. Here's an aerial map of the site outlined in green. The subject property is located generally at 4460 107th Circle North. It's a little tough to see with how zoomed out it is, but I added a little bit of a red outline to show where the actual project could take place. The land use designation is IL. The property is zoned light industrial M1, and the flood zone is X, a low risk flood zone. This is the proposed site plan. Again, a little tough to see with the scale, but there is residential to the south, and this addition would be about 146 feet from the closest residential. Here's elevations just to give you a little bit of an idea of how this would look from the ground. You can see there's an existing canopy that's mostly open, and this would just be adding on to that. So while we're here, like I mentioned, there's abutting residential to the south. There are several special requirements that need to be met. A is that noise generating mechanical equipment has to be at least 50 feet away from the residential property lines. That is more than met. B, only egress doors for people may face said property. Note that there is an opening to the building right now facing the property. It's very far away. It is larger than just a pedestrian access. However, it is existing and they're not proposing enlarging that. There are no loading areas within 20 feet of the said property, nor any outdoor storage or dumpsters within 20 feet of the properties to the south. And then there's an enhanced landscape requirement that has been met. All of these have been met. So to summarize, this is a PSP approval for a canopy extension of the existing structure. As I mentioned, the abutting residential turning triggers city council review and approval. All applicable requirements are proposed to be met, including streetscape landscaping improvements up towards the north side of the property. And just for context, the reason you were seeing two lots there is in 2022, the property was split into two lots through a variance and lot line adjustment process, but the owner is now combining them back into one. Staff findings are as follows. The proposed use meets the intent of the M1 zoning district for the land development code. The proposed use meets the preliminary site plan requirements for section 18-1524.5. And the request is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan, as well as the intent of the LDC. Staff recommends approval of case number PSP-0124-00004 with the following condition. A lot line adjustment to combine the two properties will be completed prior to issuance of the CO. Thank you. Staff's here with any questions, as well as the applicant.
City Council have any questions of Bob? Bob, on the preliminary site plan requirements, item F, and it's talking about landscaping buffering for the landscaping regulations, except that one tree shall be planted every 30 feet or fraction thereof for the buffering. Mm-hmm. They have landscaping there. Are they going to make sure that that is maintained?
Yes, and they're adding
the word "except" in there. It's very.
This is imposing an additional. It's more trees than would typically be required. So, and they are adding quite a bit. There's not very much lot frontage actually, so they're kind of going above and beyond, adding some additional trees and shrubs and things like that.
Because of a bit of budding residential. I don't know that we've heard a lot from the neighbors, but we sure don't want to as they add on and become more successful. So,
As long as they keep them alive.
no additional questions for Bob? Would the applicant like to come up and speak? Name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
Yes, ma'am. My name is George T. Smith, 4460 107th Circle North, and I have not been sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Basically, what we're proposing is just to add on a 25 by 30 addition for our covered canopy storage for our guys to work. We'll comply with the additional landscaping that we need to do. Just looking for approval to get this project moving. Any other questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to come up and speak on this item, have any questions of the applicant, staff, or city council? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion by Councilmember Cadell.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve PSP-0124-00004, public hearing, first and final reading.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to item P4, resolution number 2407.
Item P4, resolution number 24-07. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, vacating 4 approximately 3-foot wide by 600-foot long utility easements within 4066 Avenue North in Section 15, Township 30 South, Range 16 East, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P4, resolution number 2407's public hearing, first and final reading. I'm opening the public hearing and turning it over to Bob.
Again, my name is Bob Bernhardt, Senior Planner. I'll be presenting P4, BAC-0124-00003. It's a request to vacate 4 3-foot wide platted utility easements within the properties generally located at 4066 Avenue North. This is Youth Park. The land use designations are TU and ROS. Zoning here is public, D. Portions of the properties are located in flood zones X, X shaded, and AE. This shows the locations of the easements that are being vacated. To summarize, these properties were platted with the Boulevard Park number 2 subdivision in 1925. The easements being vacated run alongside the 20-foot wide alleys that were vacated in the past, but the platted easements remained after that vacation. With new development proposed in Youth Park coming soon, these easements are required to be vacated, and the vacation of these utility easements should not affect existing or future utilities. This is basically a cleanup item. Findings are as follows. The request meets the vacation of easement requirements for Section 18-1801 of the Land Development Code. The request is consistent with the applicable goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan. Staff recommends approval of case number BAC-0124-00003, and we are here if any questions come up.
Thank you. City Council have any questions for Bob? Seeing none. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on item P4? Seeing none. I will close the public hearing at its first and final reading and entertain a motion by Councilmember Seville.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to adopt resolution number 2407, public hearing, first and final reading.
Second.
Motion has been made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Moving on to section 4, our consent agenda items.
Item C1 is authorization for the City of Pinellas Park to accept a utility easement from Crown Parks LLC for property located at 3405 64th Avenue North. Items C2 through C9 are authorization for the mayor to sign utility easement transfer agreements between the City of Pinellas Park and the City of Largo, Florida. Item C10 is a request for the mayor to sign a final plat approval for Mid Pinellas Logistics Center located at parcel number 223016 30374 0001002. Item C11 is authorization for the city manager to negotiate with the firms recommended by the evaluation committee. An order of preference is recommended for building code professional services, RFP 23/010. Item C12 is to approve the appointment of Melissa Gonzalez to serve as a member of the library board with a term to expire on December 31st, 2025. Item C13 is authorization for the mayor to sign master agreements for continuing contract professional services in response to RFQ 23/004. Item C14 is authorization to purchase under Florida Sheriff's Association contract one new Caterpillar tire lift truck for Public Works Water Department from Ring Power Lift Trucks in St. Petersburg, Florida at a cost of $49,008. Item C15 is authorization to purchase under Sourcewell contract one stand-up lift truck for Public Works Water Department from Ring Power Light Trucks in St. Petersburg, Florida at a cost of $47,994. Item C16 is authorization for approval and acceptance of change order number 1, Stormwater Pipe Rehabilitation Program provided by Vortex Services LLC, an increase in the contract amount of $1,532.30 for a total adjusted contract amount of $135,745.30, and authorization for a final payment of $135,745.30 to Vortex Services LLC. Item C17 is authorization to purchase a mobile modular shoot house totaling $62,788.76 from Contact Industries. That concludes tonight's consent agenda.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Reed?
Thank you. Mayor Bradbury, regarding the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to pass, approve, or adopt, whichever action is appropriate. Items C1 through C17 inclusive. The next public hearing will be held in council chambers on Thursday, April the 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on items C1 through C17? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Regular agenda items, we do not have any.
Motion carries unanimously.
Tap, tap. Section 6, comments from City Council, and I'm starting off with Councilmember Seville.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Melissa for signing up to volunteer to be on the library board. It's nice when our residents want to get involved.
And that's formerly known as Missing Hammonds.
Oh, okay. I just saw it as Melissa.
I know.
But just thankful for people who step up and want to be part of our city and make our city better and make it a better place for everyone to live. And man, it's nice seeing all these people, man. If we have elections every week, wow, this place would be great. Well, good to see you, Hoosh. But I'd like to just thank all of our employees for the work that they do. And I know there's a lot of difficult situations out there, and I'm just glad they're always very professional in everything they do. And that's all I got.
And I won't say a whole lot. I know we got a lot of people waiting to do some fun stuff, and everybody needs to lighten up and have some fun. It was very quiet in here tonight. I was like, whoa. But my thoughts do go out to Lana, and thanks everybody for taking that moment to say hi to her, because it's tough, So, and thank you to all of our staff. I did have 2 great comments from some contractors that said that working with our city is amazing. So thank you again to everybody in our village that makes it the best village to work in and live in. That's all I got. Go ahead.
This is my exit interview.
Here we go. Hang on.
I'm going to get that a little closer so everybody can hear it. It's been a fun ride, 26 years. I don't know what else I could have done for 26 years. I could have worked at McDonald's or something, but I'm not sure. Anyway, It's been a pleasure. The staff, all the years and everything, some old friends coming in there. And it's really been a true pleasure to watch this city grow in the last 26 years. And I'm kind of thankful I had my little thumbprint on it somewhere. So I want to thank all my residents and all my people, and hopefully the next generation will be as good as me. I hope so.
I think, Rick, you probably had more of your footprint than your thumbprint. And
Could
thank
be.
you for everything that you've done for our community.
I want to say thank you to Rick for everything and being there and doing what you did. And there's tons of stories out there, you know. And thank you to Carol and your family for. It takes the family to support us up here to do that many years. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Ricky.
I do need one explanation, Rick.
Oh no,
What is double ugly?
double ugly. Where is my? I want a double
It's
ugly.
a double ugly, yeah.
That is the best ever. We should have played that again. That was great.
That's awesome.
All these people here, they could have heard you.
That was bad.
Councilmember Cattell.
It was great, double ugly.
I want to join with everybody else in thanking Rick and wishing him the best. I know he's not going away. We're going to be seeing him all over town still. But he has been an example, mostly a good example for all of us. And I'm proud that I've had this short time on council with him, and that I've known him in the community and seen the good things that he's done for all these years.
Yes.
Nobody leave without going into the break room and getting a cupcake after the swearing in. I do not want them in the morning.
She doesn't want to bring them back upstairs. I know we have probably some announcements before we go over and do that, so. Ms.
Yes.
Jillian.
We have some great events going on in March and April. The first one being a truly excellent event. It's the Beta Sigma Phi Easter egg hunt at England Brothers Park. And that's going to be this Saturday, March 30th at 9 a.m. sharp. And then this Saturday, also March 30th, we have Phony Baloney Senior Scam and Fraud Prevention Play at the Performing Arts Center. Tickets are free, but they're going fast. So reserve your tickets by going to www.sagestheater.org and just click on that top red banner to reserve your tickets. Then we have the Suncoast Model Railroad Club Show at the Performing Arts Center, April 6th at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we have the Pinellas Park Swap Meet happening at England Brothers Park, April 7th at 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is benefiting scholarships for local high school seniors by the Public Service Education Foundation. And we have the Pinellas Pepper Fest. That's going to be going on April 13th and 14th at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information on that, visit Pinellas Pepper Fest on our Facebook. And then we have Paddle for PSEP Pickleball Tournament at Forbes Rec Center, April 27th at 8 a.m. This is also a charity event that will be benefiting scholarships for local high school students by the Public Service Education Foundation. And there'll be no art party walks in March due to renovations. Their next show will be March 4th. And if you'd like to know more about our events going on in the City of Pinellas Park, you can visit our City of Pinellas Park Facebook page, What's Happening Pinellas Park Facebook page, or you can visit our website at www.pinellas-park.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Recreation hands.
Very quickly, since you brought up boards, we do still have a vacancy on our Parks and Recreation Board. So there's still opportunities for folks to get involved and serve on a volunteer board if so inclined.
There you go, Rick. Yeah. Yeah.
Sharon? No. Our chiefs? No? Okay. Oh. Now it's time for, I'm up first, yeah. We have to be sworn in or sworn out, whichever you'd like to say. And I am blessed tonight to have my two favorite guys with me tonight, so.
Yeah, that's you.
That's you. enjoying cold weather up in West Virginia, so. But he is here in spirit. I use this Bible every single time that I've gotten sworn in. It's the one that my dad used when he was on city council, and it was given to him by my great-grandmother. So, he's here.
Mayor, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sandra Lee Bradbury,
I, Sandra Lee Bradbury,
a citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being employed by
or an officer of
the city of Pinellas Park,
the city of Pinellas Park,
and a recipient of public funds
and a recipient of public funds
as such employee or officer, do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and
the charter and ordinances of the city of Pinellas Park. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Jared. Mr. Tim, it's your turn.
If you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me, I state your name, Timothy Cadell.
I, Timothy Cadell,
A citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being employed by or an officer of the city of Pinellas Park, and a recipient of public funds as such employee or officer, do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Pinellas Park.
of the city of Pinellas Park.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you.
But Mom's not going up there.
Now I do that. Got it.
I, Ricky Butler,
I, Ricky Butler,
a citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
and being employed by
or an officer of
the city of Pinellas Park,
the city of Pinellas Park,
and a recipient of public funds,
and a recipient of public funds,
as such employee or officer,
do
hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Pinellas Park.
of the city of Pinellas Park.
She's coming. She's coming. She was enjoying watching. She's practicing her grandma stuff, hugs and kisses. Wait.
Wait, Noreen's waving at you over here.
One more. Well, I can say without making Rick come back over here again, you can just stay right there, Rick. That it has been a pleasure working with Rick here at City Council on behalf of the citizens of Pinellas Park. And when I first got elected, he was like a big brother to me, took me under his wing, made sure that I got introduced to people along the ways that has helped me to help the city become better. So big thank you there. So I don't want to start crying. So we'll say that we hope everybody has a blessed couple of weeks till we see you again.